Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. I think we'll give people like a minute or two just in case they've got to scurry from someplace else to get here. But welcome, everyone. This is the January 2026 meeting of the acquisition SIG for Koha. Let's give people like one more minute to get here.
Rhonda, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying a new camera, and it has a microphone, so I want to make sure I was connected the right way.
Yep. You're good. Okay. I think we'll just get started here. Yeah, we didn't meet in December. And so we'll just get back up to speed here. One thing that I do like to do, I'm seeing some names that I'm not as familiar with. So I think this might be a good meeting to go around and introduce ourselves. Like I said, this is the acquisition SIG for koha-US. I was thinking maybe if we introduce, give your name, your position, and then tell us something about your library that would be information that someone else could say, oh, they're like me, like we're a multi-branch, we're a consortium, we're a single standalone library, we've just migrated or we've been on for a few years, just to give some piece of information that maybe somebody can connect with. I think what I'll do is I'll start and then let's see. I'll start and then I'll just call out people's names, and hopefully when your camera goes on and off and you move around on my screen, I'll still be able to track everybody. So I'll start. My name is Rhonda Kuiper. I work at the Round Rock Public Library in Round Rock, Texas. And we are a single location library, and we have been on Koha since 2016. So we were in April. It will be 10 years that we've been on Koha. So Wally, you're first on my screen.
All right, my name is Wally DesChamps. I am newly retired from Prosper Community Library. I am the koha-US treasurer. I'm still doing consulting work for the library until they find my backfill and all that sort of stuff, and I can get them trained in. But it's on my time at my house, so it's a winner takes all type situation. Our library is a single branch library, considered a small library. We have about 100 and something thousand volumes, titles. And we also take part in Cloud Library and Libby, both. And so our patronage is a rather small patronage of about 10,000. And so we're looking to, one of the reasons I'm so interested in this meeting is continuing to help with the process of adopting the acquisitions module into our workflow and going from there.
Okay, thanks, Wally. David from Carrollton.
David from Carrollton, yeah. Two-branch system near Dallas, serving a city with a population of about 140,000 people. And we actually have about 140,000 items in the collection as well.
Thanks. Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly McDougall. I am here at the Round Rock Public Library with Rhonda. My brain is still struggling to think of something that you didn't already say, Rhonda, about being on Koha for 10 years now. I'll keep thinking. I can't think of anything. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Jennifer, do we have multiple? Okay, yeah.
I think I'm the only one today. Jennifer McNicol. I work at the Somerset County Library System of New Jersey. We have 9 branches, and in November we joined a consortia of 67 libraries in New Jersey. And at that time we started using Koha, so we're pretty new still.
Okay, well, welcome to the community. Charlie.
I'm guessing we're doing introductions.
Oh, yes.
Sorry,
Let
I
me
just jumped
explain.
on.
Yeah, so introduce yourself, library you're from, and then tell something about your library that somebody could say, oh, that's similar to our library. Like, are you in a consortium? Are you standalone? How big you are? Just to give a sense so that people can say, oh, if I have a question, I can talk to them because they've got a similar situation as I do. So that's the idea.
Oh, cool. Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm the Technical Services Coordinator at the County of San Luis Obispo Public Libraries. We have 14 branches. We're not in a consortium. We're looking into it, but I don't know where the direction is on that one. But we're a fairly small library system in California.
Okay, thanks. Jason.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
My camera, forever a problem. I'm Jason Robb. I'm the Seek and Find coordinator at the Southeast Kansas Library System. We are a consortium of 53 libraries, 50 public, 3 community college, and we've been using Koha since 2008. And as far as consortia go, we are relatively small, like service population wise. We have about 700, closer to 800,000 items in our collection.
Okay. Thanks, Jason. Maribel?
Hi, I'm Maribel Carrillo from Monterey County Free Libraries. We have 16 branches, 3 bookmobiles, library by mail department as well. And we've been with Koha since 2022, I believe. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Christina.
Hi, my name is Christina. I'm from Lasser University. I'm the chair of technical services. And we are thinking of either going with Koha or Folio, and my director's leaning more towards Folio. I'm sorry, Koha. So I'm just trying to learn a bit more on acquisitions and cataloging on my end.
Okay. Well, hopefully, yeah, this is a place to come if you got questions. We'd be happy to help you with what we can.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Janet.
Hi, I'm Janet Gardner. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Janet Gardner. I am with Falmouth Public Library in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. We have 3 branches at Falmouth, and we're part of a consortium of mostly smaller libraries. We've been using Koha for about 3 years, and I do most of the acquisitions.
Okay, welcome. Lori.
County Public Library,
Okay, you're kind of muffled. I don't know if you can do anything about that, but
sorry, I don't know. Can you hear me better?
yes, that's much better.
Okay, I guess I have to speak up a little. As I said, I'm from Cuyahoga County Public Library outside of Cleveland. We're a large system with 27 branches, no central library, and centralized acquisition and cataloging.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Lori. Chip, you just popped into my screen. So what we're doing is introducing ourselves, the library that we're from, and then just giving a little bit of information about your library that would help other people in the group be able to think, oh yeah, they're about the same size we are, or they're similar situation. If I have a question, I could talk to them about whatever.
Okay, I'm Chip Halvorsen. I'm at Westlake Porter Public Library in Ohio, which is a suburb of Cleveland. And our population is about 30,000 plus neighboring suburbs. And so we're a small one location library. So yeah, so general expertise on a small scale here.
All right, thanks. And Laura.
Hello. I'm Laura Vogler. I'm from Wabash College in Indiana. We're a small liberal arts college on the west side of west side of Indiana. We have about 900. It's an all-male institution. We're part of the Pawnee Consortium, who is currently in the process of migrating to Koha. We already have 3 schools on with Koha, and some of the rest of us are coming on a little bit later. So part of my job is acquisition. So I'm just in the process of learning about the program and how it might work for our group.
Okay, thanks, Laura. India Blue.
Hello, my name's India. I work as a cataloging librarian at the Utah State Library. We just moved to Koha at the end of September, I believe. That was our go live date, so pretty new. And then we support a bunch of small rural libraries around the state, and then we're also working on helping migrate a bunch of new libraries to join our aspect of Koha. So a lot going on over here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome. John.
Hi, my name is John Summers. I'm a system integration analyst at Broad Art Company, and I'm also the BIBS product owner. So I just pop into the meetings and gather whatever information I can from time to time, and happy to be here with you today. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly Davenport from the Camden County Library in New Jersey. We're an 8-branch system, and we've been on KoHa since 2017. I'm the head of technical services. I've been in this position for about 4 years now. Was a reference librarian, so I'm still learning as I go along. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, welcome. Daphne.
Hello, I'm Daphne Hoolahan, and I'm with Interleaf Technology in Ireland, and we implement and support KoHa systems in Ireland. We've got over 100 clients, a mixture of academic, universities, schools, special libraries. And we've been supporting KoHa pretty much since the beginning, so over 20 years now. And I come along because you're always early adopters, so I want to learn all the new things and all the problems before our clients start having them.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Marci. Okay, well, I'll go back to Marci. Let me check put the chat up just in case. All right, Barbara.
I'm Barbara Johnson. I'm with Bedford Public Library, which is in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We are a single branch library with about a little over 30,000 patrons, I think. Our collection is probably about 100,000 physical items and maybe 140,000 with the digital. We have been on KoHa since October of 2016. We went to Aspen recently in September of 2025, so we're getting used to that. Let's see. And we been on acquisitions since the beginning, and we are a non-EDI library for acquisitions.
Okay, great. All right, Marci.
Okay, sorry, I figured it out. I had to clear this meeting is being recorded before it would let me unmute.
Oh.
I am Marci Chen. I work for McKinney Public Library in the Dallas, Texas area. We serve a community of about 220,000 plus the neighboring smaller cities all around us. I have no idea how many books we have in our collection right now because one of our branches is closed. We weeded a lot, we moved a lot over, and we're trying to do a small opening day collection for when it reopens in the fall without having a budget for that. So I'm trying to do that out of my regular book budget. We've been on Koha for about 10 years. And when our branch reopens, we'll have a planetarium.
All right. All right, thanks, Marci. Kristen.
Hi, I'm Kristen Ortelli. I'm the Library Systems Manager at the Santa Fe Public Library in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We are a 3-branch system and we have around 70,000 patrons.
Okay, thanks, Kristen. Amy.
Hi, everyone. I'm at the Utah State Library Division with India. And so like she mentioned, we serve bookmobiles and a handful of rural libraries in our state. And we just migrated to Koha in October of 2025.
Okay. All right. Welcome then. And C. Hilliard. I
think that's Cecil.
Cecil. Okay. Okay. There you go.
Hello. Hi. Trying to unmute. I'm Cecil from Washoe County Library. We have 12 branches. 3 are partnerships with school libraries. And I'm the cataloger paying the bills person.
Okay. That's an important person. All right. All right. So that should give everybody an idea of who else is in the room. We've got standalones, we've got multi-branch systems, consortiums, universities, public libraries, all kinds of different libraries here. So there's surely somebody here that you could connect with. For people that are newer to the group, there is an initiative or a process going on to call Acquisitions 2.0, pardon me, which is basically a rewrite of the current acquisitions module to include some, get us a platform that will be more easily able to include new features and things like that. The code, of course, is 25, 26 years old now. And so it's just kind of a refresh of the acquisitions stuff. Something that we as a group talked about and worked through and put a bug in Koha was in the fund part of acquisitions. There is no real way to track when you make changes to your funds. You just go in and you edit the fund amount, and there's no, we added $5,000. You have to write that stuff in the notes. There's nothing in Koha that actually tracks that. So no way to track increases, decreases, or transfers. One of the things, I was in the revision group or whatever this morning, and they showed the function, and this ability to track the increases, decreases, and transfers is going to be built into the new system. So there's going to be buttons that, you know, increase this, and you'll get a screen, and it's how much, and you can put notes in there. You know, this is from a gift from, you know, a memorial or whatever. This is, you know, we just want to, the city gave us a whole bunch more money, you know, or whatever. And then for each fund page at the bottom, there's going to be kind of a table that shows you, oh yeah, we increased it this much on this date for this reason, you know, whatever information you put in there. So all that information is going to be included in the new 2.0 stuff. So that was very exciting to see that, you know, mocked up and everything. The next question I have for everybody is, are you aware of the budget planning function that's in Koha? And if so, do you use it, and how do you use it? First of all, first question, does anybody use the budget planning feature?
Could you?
You want, yeah.
Yeah, can you do a screen share, please?
Sure. Let me, every other time I have this up. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what this is, let me get into acquisition. I got to see if I can find it. I think it's under. Oh dear. Obviously we don't use it because.
Is this different than creating a budget, what you're talking about?
Yeah, it is
Okay.
different than creating a budget.
In that case, I don't think we do, because it
Okay.
doesn't ring any bells for me.
Yeah, it's a place, and okay, haven't used it. No, no, I've seen it. Yeah, so
It
Kelly's
looks like
comment.
if
Go
you
ahead.
open a budget, like if you open a current budget, it's an option. It's an
That's what I did. I didn't dig
yeah, I just
deep
found
enough.
it.
Yeah. All right, so let me share my screen. Which one do I share? This one, share. Okay. So, all right, got that up. So this is a budget, and up here is this planning drop down, and then it gives you 3 different ways to plan. I'm just going to pick by month, and then it will let me hide a few of these columns because you can't see what's actually going on here. Oh, okay. All right. So let me hide a couple more. So what you can do is it will show you all of your fund names and the allocations for the funds. And then if you do this autofill thing, it will divide your budget evenly over your months or your libraries or your whatever. There's no real connection to your actual, how things, you know, like if in January you spend more or less than this, it doesn't know. This is just, it does that division. You could enter these numbers in here individually if you knew that in January you spent less than you do in March, or what, you know, those kinds of things. But it's just
Rhonda, it's really more of a Koha written spreadsheet that already does the calculations for you, correct?
Yep. That is right. So I don't know. I didn't you can tell by the way I'm presenting it, I didn't find it all that useful. But just curious if anybody uses it, because the reason I'm asking this is because the support people that I was in the meeting with, most of them, their libraries don't use it. So they're probably not going to implement it in the basic, the first go round of Koha, of acquisitions 2.0. They may wait until it's a little bit, a couple releases down, because they want to make sure they get the stuff that everybody's using, and get that solid and not spend a lot of energy on something that people aren't.
I'll comment that this is Wally. I'll comment that I like this from the perspective of it puts my spreadsheet all in one place, as opposed to me being in Koha and then having to go to another, to an Excel spreadsheet and whatever. I can kind of click back and forth between the planning and the actual budget, and still move numbers manually, but still have it all kind of in one place. I didn't realize this was there. I should have clicked around a little bit more. I kind of like this perspective. I would love for it to be in 2.01 or whatever, for it to be connected in some sort of way. But I liked a couple of things I saw was I liked that you could do it by item type. I would love it if it would do it by category code more than item type, because our item type, all of our printed material is one item type basically. But I would love to be able to take it down to adult versus juvenile versus beginning readers versus young adults, that sort of stuff, which is what you have in this planning sheet by month. In the 2.01 or 2.02 or whatever, I would love to see category codes, because we separate out by category code, or we budget by category code as in like parts of our library as opposed to item type. And but anyway, I like this all in one place, and we'll probably begin using it as soon as we're done with this meeting, filling in some numbers to see how it goes.
Yeah. So the suggestion or the idea was at this meeting was that when they're ready to implement it, they would try to get feedback from people on what kinds of functions they would actually like to see in it. So that would be a great opportunity to talk about the category codes and things like that. So that's probably a year or two down the road. But I just wanted to share that.
Rhonda?
Yes.
It has the option to do it by month, but if there were an option to do it by like some kind of percentage, because we don't spend the same amount every month. And when we get down to July, August, September, we're spending very little because we expect to have already spent or already, ordered and have funds encumbered. So by the end of the fiscal year, we're spending, like maybe 10%, 5%. So if there were some way to incorporate, like a percentage spending pattern, that would be something that would be helpful.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you say, like, when you were looking at it by month, did you say as you start to apply things and pay out, pay invoices and stuff, when you're looking in this planning mode, you don't know whether you're over or under for that month or anything like that?
Right.
That might make it more useful.
Yeah, if there was some connection to the actual spend.
Right. So you can see if you're on track or behind, you know, that type of thing.
All right. I'm just making some quick notes. Okay. Yeah, that's good feedback. Because right now it's just what you see is what you get. You know, because I'm pretty sure that this budget, I think I picked this one. Yeah, so there's been stuff spent out of this already, and you really couldn't see that reflected in the planning thing.
But if you're keeping up with, you know, as you spend, taking your invoices or whatever and changing your numbers in your planning sheet, as like you said, you overspent in January, that's going to then autofill and change your numbers for each month going forward. And you just kind of in your mind can keep that percentage. I like what Laura was saying is knowing whether you're above and below, as opposed to just seeing the numbers change or whatever. And your fund remaining, I'm assuming that the number's going to change. I was going to see how you did this. Yeah, I was going to ask you actually to fill a number in and see what it does. Yeah, so it does show you at the end whether you're, you know,
you've
above,
got
below, or, you know, I'm assuming minus, it would give it to you in red or something, or a negative sign if you were over. But I like the idea of the percentage as you're going along, even in the month itself, to know whether you're going up. Yeah, I mean, so it does help you monitor it in a way. If you're looking at the whole year as opposed to taking only a month at a time. Again, like a spreadsheet, because I mean, that's what I use as a spreadsheet, and we share it amongst, I don't actually do the ordering. I just kind of monitor, I get the invoices, monitor it, and kind of then feedback to the person who is doing the ordering saying, you know, we're over budget for the month. But of course, we all know, like Barbara said, when you get into the summer months and close to the end of the fiscal, we're so ingrained, we're just not spending as much. And and you can look at the end of the end number to know whether you're on track or not moving forward. But again, the more automation that it can make from the budget to this planning sheet would be, I think, a big help, not having to go back and forth and back and forth.
Rhonda?
Yeah.
If you take a look on the left under your filter, what if you clicked on that show actual estimated values on the far left?
Far left, show.
Yeah, do that and see if it changes what we're looking at.
Okay. Submit. All right.
So if there's a value in the August 25, there's some numbers.
There's some numbers in there.
And then down below, there's one that has 169.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, so this is what was actually spent. You're right.
So maybe we just weren't looking at all the potential data that was, you know, that could be visible.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, so then it reflects, it gives you the two numbers over here, and it reflects what
your expenditures
are, and then what is remaining, I guess.
It's kind of hard to read though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when you're looking by month.
Yeah, it's a little little cryptic. Yeah, and this is a parent fund, and this is the child fund, and it doesn't seem like there's any connection between those two, which would be good to have as well. So, but yeah, I never really noticed, I never really dug around here. So if we did take that off. What does this tell us?
I think those are the only budget lines you have or in use.
Okay. It would be nice if you could see all of the number that would be
right.
Be there, but yeah. Okay.
Rhonda?
Yeah.
Another thing I've noticed is it seems like you can go in here and do these things, but if you click away and go somewhere else and come back in, it's all wiped out. So unless this is persistent with, your values or filters or, unless the data is retained, you may have spent a lot of time putting stuff in here and then you go back to it and it's all gone.
Yeah. There is a save button down here. I know for a while that did not work, but I thought they had it fixed. So I don't know. Okay, so we didn't have any of these checked before. I'm going to do this. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. All right. So I'm going to take a few of these off here. And I'm noticing it goes the calendar year. It'd be nice if you could adjust it to match your fiscal year instead. So we've got this one that's wonky here with $50 less. Let me go in and save. Did it actually? Yep, it's thinking about it. Okay. So then if I go back, I'll just go to home and then acquisitions. I click it, yeah. And then budgets. This is how I got there. And then budget and planning by month. Let's see. No, yeah, okay, that saved it. So that is fixed now. That's good. Okay, I just was curious how many people are currently using it, and we may have an opportunity to give them some, give some feedback on how we want it to look in the future. And then any more comments or questions about the planning tool? Okay. And then the last question, let me go to budgets, I think. Okay, so this is related, tangentially related to the increase, decrease, and transfer stuff. Pardon me. But currently the way Koha works is if I go in here and edit this, one of these two fields, I will then, if I change this to $3,000 instead for adult audio, that isn't reflected in the parent at all, and it's not reflected in the overall budget that I've decreased it. The question came up, I guess Folio, the way it works is if I would decrease this, then all these other numbers would automatically get adjusted to match. So if I decrease or I increase, the layers above get adjusted. And it was like, so how do we want to do this for the new thing? And I think the consensus was, just to keep it working the way it is, where this is how much we've got for this budget, or for this fund. And then it's up to me to properly allocate things underneath it, know if I've got a little, $2,000 slush fund here or whatever. But if you have opinions about this or one way or another, you can, think about it and email me. I'm kind of an on the spot kind of thing, but that's a thought, because with the increase button and the decrease button and the transfer button, if you're going to increase this to $6,000, then you need to first increase this, the parent, and you increase the overall budget to reflect that. They were talking about maybe putting a little check mark that says, reflect these changes on up the line or something like that. So I know for us that final budget number can't change, that we have so much to spend and we can't randomly increase it. Usually what happens is we put in the decreases first and then put in the increases, and then everything stays with, because we're balancing usually with transfers and things like that. But that's just something to think about. And if you have some ideas on how that would work really well, this would be a good time to share that information. So those are the bits that I could bring back from the overall, the acquisitions 2.0 group. Just kind of trying to keep everybody kind of aware of some of the changes that will be coming, so that and when acquisitions 2.0 comes, the last discussion I heard was it will be, you won't be forced to use it. It will be like a choice. You can use acquisitions 1.0 or acquisitions 2.0, whichever one, and then eventually everybody will have to go to 2.0, but you can do it at your own speed, was the last thing that I heard. Does anybody have any specific questions about acquisitions?
Could you stay on that screen for a second?
Yes.
Okay. Because I do have a question. All right. So, because I've already mentioned we haven't migrated yet, but I've sat in on some trainings for those that have, and I've read some of the documentation. So I know I'm not an expert, but I'm starting to understand how this all works.
Okay.
The first thing you need is a budget, right? Before you do anything else.
Yes.
Okay. Before you start placing orders and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So because we're a consortium of 24 different schools, we each have our own individualized budgets. And for people here who are in branches or consortia, when you get to the budget page, are you seeing everybody's information, or are you only seeing your information? That's the first thing we haven't been able to figure out. It's like, if I log in and I'm logging in through my library, am I going to see all these 23 other schools' budgets? That's confusing to me.
Okay. Does somebody who is in a consortium want to address that? We are a standalone. So when you get to this page, like this is the home page for acquisitions.
Mm-hmm.
And they still haven't fixed the display here, which irritates me. So your question is, are you
like that page you were on, there was a filter for my library, that previous page under the budgets.
Mm-hmm.
But the hope would be, see up at the top above that, up top above that.
Libraries.
Yeah. So you have all those libraries listed.
Mm-hmm. So we'll pick one.
But when you go into your library, are you only seeing your library's budget, not all of those other libraries that are listed?
Can I come in there? It depends how you set it up. You can set up the permissions. You know, if you want privacy between the libraries, you can set your login to just see your library and your funds, but then maybe an overall administrator would be able to see everything.
Right, the super user.
Yeah, or you can just let everybody see what everyone else has.
Okay.
So when you're setting up, it'll be important to talk about that.
Okay.
I'll say for ours right now, we're the first library using acquisitions in our consortia, but others are starting to use it. And we have our own hyperlink with a prefix that says SOM for Somerset County, 2026 materials budget. And then there's another hyperlink for another part of our consortia that has their own prefix. So when we go into it, we just go into our link and then we only see our funds. But at the first budget screen, you could see everybody's listed and drill into it if you wanted to.
At your library, you can see everybody's?
Right now, yes.
Okay.
So I think
And are you a shared catalog?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I think that's the JavaScript or customization. You can do that. I've heard of that before, but I think the best person or the best group to ask for that kind of configuration would be the customization SIG group. Because they have like that kind of information that they're happy to share. And I think Jason is actually would know more about this, but I'm not going to put you on the spot and say, Jason, answer this.
No, yeah, we don't use acquisitions to this extent, so I don't have anything I can't help right now, but definitely if there's some sort of jQuery thing that we can come up with to help, we can look at that in the customization SIG for sure.
I'm also looking down here just at the bottom of the screen right there where it says filter by library. And again, active versus inactive and all that will make a difference. So if you know, Rhonda, of one that is using this or has played in the sandbox or whatever, in this demo site that is using it, I would think, Laura, you might be able to at least screen out those that you don't want to see as opposed to maybe.
The hope was that like, you know, when I log into my library and I go to budgets, that my library would already be selected by default and I wouldn't have to choose my library. We are getting conflicting information on whether that's even possible. So I thought, you know, maybe ask people in this group who may be in a similar situation where, you know, I don't want to see these other universities and colleges budgets. That's their private information. We don't need to know it because we're not sharing monies or anything. We're only sharing our bibliographic catalog. So we're just trying to figure it out as we go because the ones that have gone live thus far aren't using acquisitions. I'll be in the group that will start using it. So we're trying to figure this.
Are you Bywater supported?
No, we're Equinox.
Okay. Well, either way, I mean, you could potentially submit a ticket. And I mean, obviously, like Jason said, you know, they talk in the customizations, but there may be an opportunity if you're supported by Equinox or whatever to see if they can default that or write something that can default that way for you.
Gotcha.
Possibly.
So yeah, just taking a look at that page on the koha-US site, it does seem totally doable to just have it select, like look at what library you're logged into and make that selection in the drop down when the page loads. I think that's possible.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and he's not here today, so I'm going to throw him under the bus. But John Vink is also at a college, and it's two colleges that share the catalog, but they keep their stuff separate. And I know that he's done some things too that might be useful.
Is that the Austin Presbyterian?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you talked to him already or.
We met with them about something else, not acquisitions. This has come up after.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that if he'd be willing to share what his experience is.
Yeah, he's definitely a good resource.
Okay, thank you. I'll reach out to him.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the question, Laura. Keeps us on our toes. Okay. What time is it? Okay, we've got a few minutes left. Is there anything else that people are curious about? So yeah, the budget is the first thing that you need to set up, and then the funds underneath it. That other screen displayed things so much nicer so that you could see more obviously what's a parent and what's a child. And then yeah, once you get the budget with the funds, then you can start ordering off of stuff. And
Rhonda, I have a quick
Yeah.
question. Because I'm not a big parent-child person, and as I think of things, I just like to treat each thing as its own, regardless, and then mentally change it myself. But in what you know from what they're developing in 2.0, will the various layers and various things that we are doing in our current acquisitions module, will that transfer in? I mean, is it going to be such that we're not having to recreate when 2.0 comes out, or will we have to rethink how we do things based on 2.0's framework?
They are trying to keep it as similar as they can so that the migration will be as painless as possible, because they need to migrate all the data from the current system to the new system. So they're, that's a big consideration, and getting it into, to work as much like the old system with a few added whistles and bells that they can slide in, and then go from there. So the idea is, if you're not doing parent-child in 1.0, then you don't have to do parent-child in 2.0, or if you are, the same thing. So yeah, because that was a couple of discussions today. Was like, well, how would that migrate? We've got to have a place to put this information, those kinds of things. So
I do have a quick question. I know you said this before, but I've forgotten, and I'm not seeing it in my notes, unfortunately. For acquisition 2.0, is that coming out in 2511 or?
No. Well, what they're planning on doing is kind of rolling it out in bits. So 2505, we had, can I get there from here? Oh, this is, yeah. Oh, okay. So let's just, so the way that, I just want to look at a vendor. How do I get to the vendor page? Okay. Positions. There's not a.
I just press search and then it takes me to everybody.
Okay, if you don't put anything in.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we've got a bunch of vendors. This is a different display than what we had earlier. So you won't see Before it was much more spread out. A books, and then it would have some information, and then a Libris, and then Amazon. So this is kind of a more condensed version. And so this is like step one, getting the vendor stuff on, and some platform that I've lost the name of, View or something like that. And so it's going to be little changes like this until, they're going to try and get as much of the ground foundation set, and then they'll roll out the whole thing. So it's going to be over time. It might be a couple of years over time.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. It's not going to be shock.
Yeah, no, that would be great. My last one is just for anybody with Ingram and EDI. Is anybody on the cataloging and processing service that they have or is trying to get on? And have you heard anything about their new system coming out? Like, are you guys integrated into their CNP program? Like, or are they still like working on you? Are you in the queue basically? Because switching over from Baker and Taylor to Ingram, I'm just trying to figure out how to, what I need to do to, I guess, get on the CNP processing side as quickly as possible. But I'm trying to see if anybody else is already on the program or trying to get in the program.
I can tell you that we started using Ingram probably in April, May of last year.
Okay.
And I asked my rep about the cataloging and processing, and she had me fill out paperwork, and she told me there's a backlog, there's a queue, and
Right.
it will be, it'll take a while. And it's now January 26, 2026. Right. I've heard nothing, and we're not on it. And I thought that like doing our paperwork, and I think we did it in like July, I thought that it would happen, within several months, I guess.
Right.
And of course that was all pre-Baker and Taylor. So now that that's happened, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm at the beginning of some queue or.
Right. I know you're ahead of me because I went in like maybe a month or two before Baker and Taylor went under. So yeah, and I'm just trying to find out where I am in the queue, I guess. And maybe you guys are doing something different for me that could like help move the process along. But it sounds like it's just like it might just be an Ingram testing phase kind of thing.
I think last I heard from our vendor is they were expecting end of first quarter to have it. Like we were an Ingram customer for years, and we're waiting for that to be set up. But so I think they are still testing and working on it on their end.
Okay. Yeah. I was wondering for a time frame, but oh, Amy, I see you.
Yeah, we just recently placed our first successful EDI order through Koha and Ingram, and it took me 3 months of back and forth emails. I think at one point it got up to like 55 responses on the ticket between myself, Bywater, and Ingram to get all of it in place. The biggest issue that we had is that it kept trying to ping and send the orders back and forth because the passwords for the setup in the background had changed.
We
And
have the same
so
issue.
when we would send test orders, it just kept trying to send them on the back end without us realizing that it continued to try to do that. So yeah, that was just about 2 weeks ago that we were able to place our first successful order. So I do know that it really helped to get our Ingram rep and our Bywater rep on the same ticket together, because then they could really talk and work through some of those issues. So best of luck. I know what a headache it can be. So,
Oh yeah. Are you using the CNP or are you doing M&M? Do you know
I'm
which?
not I don't recognize either of those acronyms. We were
So full shelf ready would be the CNP, which is cataloging and processing, but the
Okay.
M&M is the Mylar and Mark records.
We're using the Mylar.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we're on that right now. We're trying to do full shelf ready because that's what we did with Baker and Taylor. So I just wondered, no, but that's good. Like we had that same issue and we basically did the same thing, had to put them in the same room to get them to work.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, I recommend that going forward for this kind of setup.
Yeah.
Yes. And we went to EDI, 10 years ago. And it was a long process then, and there was no Baker and Taylor thing on the horizon at that point. It was a long process.
Okay. I just want to be sure I'm not dropping the ball and just waiting, like it's not usually this long. So just making sure I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
Time frame wise.
I had a quick question. I know that we're at time, so if other people have to hop off, but I had a quick question about the suggestions portion of the acquisitions module, if other people are using it. We are interested in adding statuses, and we're going to be changing some of the language of the automatic notifications because we're new to Bywater. We're currently just relying on whatever was defaulted. Has anyone, is it fairly intuitive to be able to change it for my systems admin? To be able to change the status availabilities. Like we are wanting to process everything through suggestions and then notify people if we're going to pursue ILL as opposed to a purchase for the locations. But we're wanting to kind of distinguish the steps of an ILL within the suggestions portion of the acquisitions module. Do you know if that's possible? Has anyone changed any of those statuses or added any of those?
Yeah. So, where is it?
Are you talking about the suggest status and the authorized values, right?
For suggestions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah, if you're on the suggestion, oh, I'm not sharing anymore. Hang on. Okay, I think I'm sharing. Yes. Okay. No, I'm sharing the wrong screen. I'm sharing the screen where you guys can look at yourselves. Okay. Share screen 2. All right, let's try that. There we go. That looks better. All right. So then, oops. Oh, I always do this. Just do all. Here we go. So right here are the suggestion things. So if you go into suggest thing, so here's some statuses. Let's see. I probably should have gone into the suggestion page so we could see what they were, where they were. Here, let me duplicate this and then go to here. I'll take the shortcut there. Okay. So we've got these things hang around a long time. Here's the status. So you could put anything in here. How you do that is you would go to new authorized value for suggest statuses. And then you would give it ILL, and a description would be we have submitted to ILL. You probably wouldn't say it that way. And then save it. So then now you've got that status. So if we go over here, refresh here, you can see that description.
Oh, wonderful.
Is there. So it's really easy to add those in there. And then the reason's the same thing. you know, you see these here, and oh, let's go back. And then suggest. So those are available via ILL, you know, and you can just come up here and add more suggestions. So those three. And then here's the formats. So if you want to limit the formats for suggestions, like you don't want people to suggest, I don't know, you don't want them
audiobooks.
Audiobooks. You can take that off here, and it won't, you know, they won't have the option for audiobooks. They may still suggest them by cleverly working around your restrictions, but you know, there's that. You could create a let's see, you could create a status thing or reject thing. You know, we do not accept audiobooks suggestions, or what, you know, you can do different things like that. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Does that answer your question?
It does. I appreciate it. We are interested in, and this might be a bug that needs to be submitted, but we're interested in a notification to the relevant librarians who are receiving the suggestions at different points in the process, similar to the way that cataloging concerns are currently able to be reported and returned back in KohaCon right now, that when you submit a catalog concern, you can choose to notify the relevant party and choose them from within, you know, the large list of patrons. So I don't know if that's been talked about or considered as an option for filtering suggestions or sharing suggestions around.
What's your OPAC?
We're on Aspen.
Oh, Aspen has that feature. So if we have that in Aspen, if you want to, so we mostly have our suggestion, purchase suggestions. We have staff working in the Aspen portal. If you'd like, I can kind of show you the back end on a, like after this meeting, if you'd like, I could just kind of show you my back end and see, you can see what you'd like. Here's my email address.
Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
We haven't enabled suggestions on Aspen yet because we work primarily with rural libraries. And so for many of them, all of the new features of Koha and Aspen in general are just very new. We're all exploring them, all figuring them out. So this is good to know that once we can integrate it with Aspen, it has that possibility.
Oh yeah. No, and I think Koha and Aspen work together too. So if you have it enabled on both Aspen and Koha, it submits the suggestion to Koha. I think Rhonda's doing that through hers, but we mostly work just on Aspen. We do all everything in Aspen, because what you can't do right now with suggested title is you cannot put it into an EDI order like right away. Like there's no way to, it's like one of those dreams. Waking dreams. But yeah, if you'd like to set up a meeting, I am free after this for the next 2 hours, if anything. So if you'd like to jump on and just kind of see what I have, you're more than welcome, or whenever you're available.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm free right after this as well, so that's perfect.
Nice. Okay, cool.
All right, we are 9 minutes over. So thanks everybody for hanging around. And this is always the fun part when we get to share with each other and learn tips and tricks. That's the best part of this all. So, okay. Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat here. All right, people are heading out. So yes, the next meeting is February 17. It'll be Tuesday, February 17 at the same time. So everybody stay warm and safe, and we will see you all in February. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Rhonda. Thank you.